News broke on social media that the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake was canceled. And it was something that a lot of people within the gaming community was shocked by because it's something that people had been wanting to see for the past couple of years because the game was originally announced back in 2020 and it was supposed to be released in 2021. And here we are in 2026. We find out the game has been canceled altogether. And the thing is, I feel like this is a massive disappointment because you don't promise a game like that for so long and then out of nowhere just cancel it. But to be fair, Ubisoft has had their share of financial issues and even like professional issues, and most of it is their fault. And and honestly, I feel like with all the scandals that Ubisoft has been involved in and all the layoffs they've made, this is something that probably doesn't come as much of a surprise to a couple of people because it was reported back in can't remember when, but I remember hearing last year that there were issues regarding sexual harassment and misconduct and the workplace being bad. And it got so bad to a point where former Ubisoft executives had to be called on trial for sexual harassment, coupled with the fact that the last couple of big Ubisoft games that we got ended up flopping. For example, Star Wars Outlaws. That was a game that had a budget of like it was somewhere around the ballpark of 200, $300 million. But as far as initial sales is concerned, it sold around a million. And the thing is, I don't even know if like they released like the amount of money they've lost from that game, but they lost a lot of money, because that's a pretty big budget. To have to have those type of sales, to be that low, during its launch is just it's unacceptable for the most part. And I remember hearing like 2 months ago that Ubisoft had lost like 91% of its market share. And then you had like the Assassin's Creed game that came out. I think it was Assassin's Creed Shadows. That was something that a lot of people weren't too, you know, they weren't really like huge fans of. I honestly feel like the Assassin's Creed series had peaked a while back. I feel like Black Flag from 2013 was one of the best installments in the series, along with Valhalla and yeah, like a couple of other games. But yeah, Ubisoft for the most part has they've been struggling to make ends meet to a point where they had to like lay off 1,500 people within the past year, and it's one of those things where like I understand that the economy is well, the world economy is like rough, and it seems like the gaming industry is going downhill. Like people are boycotting AAA games and they're demanding more in general from just about every major like video game producer. And I think Ubisoft was aware of that, and they probably felt that the Sands of Time remake was something that was going to live up to many people's expectations. So they decided to scrap it, along with the fact that they decided to shut down two studios, or they plan on shutting down two studios in the future because obviously they're struggling financially. And last time I checked, Ubisoft was in over $2 billion of debt. So maybe they didn't want to take that gamble with this upcoming Prince of Persia game because let's be honest, Prince of Persia has been irrelevant for years now. But at the same time, it's one of Ubisoft's biggest IPs. And and there were people who looked at this whole thing and they're starting to think to themselves like how does this make any logical sense, especially considering the fact that we're supposed to be getting a Beyond Good and Evil 2 game sometime in the future. And the thing is that like that series has not been relevant since like the early 2000s. So to cancel the Prince of Persia game before that is just ridiculous. But at the same time, we're supposed to be getting a new Splinter Cell game. At least, like that's something that has been talked about. And the thing is, like, is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time being scrapped to focus more on Splinter Cell? Because I don't know. I honestly feel like if that tanks, then Ubisoft is finished. Because I feel like it's going to be one of those things where Ubisoft is putting all their eggs in one basket, and And not only that, I think Ubisoft had like canceled like 6 other games as well, you know? So it's like all these cancellations is something that's kind of, well, it's on one hand, it's alarming. On the other hand, it makes you think what the hell is really going on behind the scenes? What is the company's goals? What direction are they trying to go in? And there's been speculation that Ubisoft is planning on a major organizational reset, and that I guess this is just a part of them trying to restructure their company. But I don't know. That's something that pretty much every major video game company says when they make, layoffs or when they cancel games. They're trying to restructure things, and obviously there's more going on behind the scenes than what we know of. But yeah, I mean, this is something that's really disappointing, and and it's a damn shame because I honestly feel like that the remake could have been something that would have did pretty well in terms of sales. Because I remember Sands of Time being a big deal back in the day. Because I remember the film came out back in 2010. It did really well in terms of box office revenue because it had a budget of like over $150, and box office wise, it did over 336 mil. And the original Prince of Persia Sands of Time game from 2003 sold over 14 million copies um, overall. And it's probably one of the best selling Prince of Persia games of all time. And, and yeah, it's like, I mean, a remake of that game, I don't think it would sell as much as the original, but I still feel like it would probably do decently if it had no glitches or no bugs and the marketing was done right. And and I don't know, like I honestly feel like with this game, um, I don't think like we're ever going to see anything or any major game Prince of Persia related anytime in the near future, because obviously Ubisoft owns the IP for the franchise. But I don't know. It doesn't look like this company is going in a really good direction. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't know. Maybe it was for the better because I would rather Ubisoft cancel this game than try to like re-release it and then botch it and then I don't know, just lose, millions of dollars on that. So, it is what it is.